Hola amigos, amigas de IFOE. Hoy estamos con el grandísimo honor de tener con nosotros a Emmanuelle, GIGI, Pedron. How are you, GIGI? Thank you for this interview.
I'm very good, and you?
Very good, very good. GIGI is an LD for artists such as Queen of the Stone Age, Jack White, Travis, Bryan Adams, and the Drive-In, Garbage, etc., 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 right?
My Chemical Romance.
My Chemical Romance.
Taylor.
Okay. Thank you, GIGI, for this interview. It's a pleasure for us, a really, really pleasure. So maybe we can start talking about the beginning. How did you start with this profession?
I always been a music fan. I love going to shows from a very young age, and I knew I wanted to do something that has concert associated to it.
Mm-hmm.
I was an art school student at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I graduated from an art school in France, and I'm a terrible painter. I'm a terrible sculptor. I didn't really find my media per se, the way of expressing myself in art school, and I discovered lighting, and that was it. That was my media, my paint or my clay.
Sure.
It makes what I like the most, colors and concert. So that was just pretty evident, and I just dive into it.
That's going to ask you, do you have a lot of inspiration in the art, right? In artists?
Yes, that's my main source of inspiration, really. It comes from there.
Can you name
and can you give us just the point of view, or the where was the point where you mix light shows with your career? Because it's not that you graduate on like arts and you see a console and a plot and you see, okay, that's what I want to do.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah,
really.
That's very odd, but
okay. So it was
in details. You want more details about it?
Yeah.
So
it could be, please.
Really, yes. I can go deeper into that. So while I was in art school, I was 20, 19, 20. And I was poor. And I wanted to go see that metal show at the small venue theater in the town where I was doing my art studies. So France, I went to in France, in Lorient. Yeah, exactly. So I went to the venue during the afternoon, and I saw that guy in there, and I'm like, well, if I help you doing anything, can I come to see the show for free tonight? And the manager is like, yeah, you can go help that guy, it's fine, And I went on stage, and that guy was the lighting person. So I was like, hey, I help you so I can sneak in the show tonight. He's like, oh, cool, well, rub that cable, like, follow me with that cable. That was it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then he went behind the console, and he started firing the light, and I'm like, yeah, that is awesome. Like, that's awesome. I didn't know anything about it. I just knew that it was like color and shape associated to the music, which is exactly what I was trying to get into. And I'm like, this guy is like, this is what I want to do. And then during the weekend, I went back to my hometown to see my folks. And there was a ska band in my hometown that I was friend with, at that time. And I told them, I'm going to do your lighting. And they're like, well, we don't have money to pay you, but we don't have zero money. And I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm doing, so it's fine. You don't have to pay me. We're gonna do like, it's my school internship in a way,
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
I go in the van with you on tour for like 3 weeks. I do your lighting for free, and so you have a lighting person. Maybe I'm gonna suck. Maybe it's gonna be awesome, but school, like, sign my school paper.
It's like
and I went to the van, and that's it.
It's like
you learn on the road, basically.
You learn on the road. Exactly.
Since the first day. Since the first day I was doing lighting, I was already behind the console running the lights. I never did any other job per se in, like,
Great.
I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do lighting, and then they're like, okay, well, do it then. And
Do
I
you-
just did, and went on tour with the guys and
And
made other bands and did other, you know.
yeah.
And I have another question, please. And the process to learn about the technical stuff, you know, because you have a soft education or a soft art education, not the hard education of the technician. What was the process of learning programming consoles or drawing simulators like YCWay or Capture, for example, that I think that you use?
I made it as I go. I discover it while doing it, to be honest with you. I was 20-year-old. I had no idea what I was getting into. It was just fun. I got to see shows for free every day. I had a pass. I can be VIP. I run the lights. It came automatically. It went great from the first time. I never had a doubt in my mind. That's what I wanted to do. I never realized it was a man's world, that I was 20-year-old, a woman, didn't know anything, but already was touring. And some other people were like, that's not fair. I wanted to be doing this, but I'm at the shop pushing cases. And, you know, like I just made it as I go. Really, that's, I learned it while doing it. I started with not moving light because, believe it or not, I am going to be 40-year-old tomorrow. And I started doing lighting. I was 19, 20. So
tomorrow?
my career is already 20 years long.
Almost happy birthday. Almost.
Almost.
Yeah.
So, and
Thank
Gigi,
you.
Great, Gigi.
do you remember, for example, what kind of console did you start with?
Oh, yeah. ML Lighting, Light Commander 2448.
Oh, okay.
Always with
That
an A.
was,
Yeah, but it was a
that's my
classical
main,
one.
that's my main, yeah, that's my weapon of choice.
Yeah.
And weapon.
When I was younger and we had no budget and no gear and no rental, I would run through all the consoles, because you go to a venue and it's a different console and it's a different console and it's a different console. So you can't really be narrow-minded on only one. Now, yes, but at the time I didn't know what I was doing. So I'm like, oh, cool, a new computer. Oh, cool. Oh, this one does that and this one doesn't. Well, I like this one better, you know?
Yeah.
I learned the DMX chart on how DMX worked from Wikipedia. I mean, it was not Wikipedia at the time, but like basically, you know, because the lighting part, the art of it, strangely, I never had to learn that. This is just
more intuitive.
my aesthetic. I've never ever struggled with that whatsoever. There's not a question in my mind. But learning networking, for example, still now I'm left facing a wall. It's just like, I'm not a IT person. I'm a lighting designer. Why do I have to learn that shit? And you do have to learn it. It is a process, but you know.
Yeah.
I just learn it as I go. Console was ML Lighting, always followed me. I like the logic.
But
we speak the same language.
In the shows, do you operate the consoles, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you program it
yes.
and operate it. Okay.
You do it all.
Do it all, yeah. Because I do not do time code. I do not work.
You don't do time code, never.
Never. First of all, I don't even know how to do it. Second of all, it's against my lighting religion.
It's more like feeling the music.
Yeah, always in real time, basically.
But do you work with preset with cues, or all in, you know, in fader?
Usually my console is laid out where the first 5 fader, we'll say, between 5 and 10 faders, are my cues for the song and my effect for the song, because I don't time code and I don't. So every single part of the song have different faders and different buttons. And the second part of the console are fixed faders, completely fixed with like whatever, something I need quick.
Yeah.
But I set it up like more like a keyboard per se. Where I play the music at the same time of the band. I'm not, I said I'm anti-time code. I'm anti-time code only for the type of customer I have, you know. Broadway show, theater, all that needs dance, needs time code. That I don't argue with, but my clients are rockers.
Sure.
They are not doing the same thing every night, so I don't see why should I. And also, my favorite part of the job is running the lights. When the bands go on stage, it's my time. You know, if it's a time code, then I have no my time. I just have nothing. I just press the button and then. So it's a little also selfish. I want to be included. I want to be part of the show, not like let a computer decide. You know, fuck you, computer. Computer is a tool, is not a brain.
Sure.
You know, it's a.
Sure.
And let me ask you something about consoles and peripherals. Do you use some peripherals like pedals or MIDI pads or something to complement the console? To doing the live show when you are operating consoles?
Well, usually with the full size MA lighting, I don't need any more anything because there's screen where you can add more button and more faders.
Yes.
But on tour, when I have less budget, because again, you know, we're going to talk about budget. It's not always possible to have a MA free full size on your tour. This is luxury.
Sure.
So when my budget doesn't permit it, I get the GrandMA 2 common wing on PC, and I use a program called Show Cockpit, which transmit MIDI, and I use a Novation Launch XL as they have a real fader course, unlike many MIDI where I have like a tiny fader. This one a real fader. And real buttons for lighting, so this works very great. So it's just a MIDI, but that works very great to extend, and it's cheap, and you can get it on Amazon.
Yes.
Also, you can break, so you can also break it. You know, you can throw it in the mud. It's like
if you want, right?
Gigi, sorry, we can talk about the design of your consoles to show the people. Okay.
Sure.
Customization.
If you're ready, we put here some pictures.
Yes.
Lea, si querés mandalas. And you tell us about that.
I thought.
Here they are, your babies.
Hey. You got all the sorts, all different sorts.
I love the Mondrian one.
The Mondrian, the Mondrian I did for the 100th anniversary of the style, Mondrian artistic print.
Okay.
First question.
And,
This is the always the same console with different customization, or there is different consoles?
Different consoles. Whatever they send me at the shop,
Let me ask you something a little bit spicy. What about the rental guys? This
first I didn't thought about that, but you know, when I rent the last show of the tour, it's always for me the saddest moment, because before I packed the console for the last time, I removed the tape and cleaned the console because I am not a dick. I'm considerate for people with who I work, and I would never return an MA except if they ask me to leave the tape on. This is a different story, but I usually, usually clean. It's part of the process, because if it's the last show of the tour, then this console doesn't have to be. You know, it was for a moment. It was for the tour moment. The tour moment is over, so the tape goes. You know.
Did you ever show these models to the people of MA in Germany?
Absolutely, yes.
What did they say?
They asked me, the Mondrian one, they asked me to bring, I mean, just like you, they thought they were my consoles. And like, can you bring one of your MA consoles on a booth for Pro Light and Sound in Frankfurt, you know, the big big show. And I was like, oh, I can't bring my console. I don't have a console. I just change it every time.
Of course.
So they gave me a console, and I made the Mondrian console for them. So it was exhibited in Frankfurt. I don't know if they kept it or not. They probably kept it.
If you consider that this can be a great business?
I thought about that. Yes. I'm
Okay.
on the case. I'm on the case.
Okay.
Recently, I customized a moving aid, a moving light,
Uh-huh.
because
Yes.
Elation Lighting as an artist series, and they have different projector. One is called the Picasso, one is called the Monet, and one is called the Mondrian. So I customized the Mondrian to look like a Mondrian with e-tape. Yeah, that's my new thing.
I love the one
wow.
with the cover of the Queen of the Stone Age.
Yeah, the cover of the villains.
The villains.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. And the French flag always.
And the French
Of course,
flag.
French pride, right?
Yeah, well, you know, I was in Europe. I had to represent, you know.
Of course.
Did you
I
read
think
comics?
this was in this was in Germany.
And the covers of the Spider-Man.
Yeah, the Marvel. I call it the Marvel.
Yeah. It's all Marvel, no?
Yeah.
Another. Who is the other? Spider-Man and
Hulk.
another
Yeah,
superhero,
Hulk,
Hulk, and another, the other. Well, that's not important.
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Iron Man. Yeah. I have just one question. Now we saw the picture of at the drive-in show. It's more about the musician. When you had a singer like Cedric that move on the stage all the time, and they jump into the people, and it's not a easy boy. You don't use follower lights, anything, just you use your design.
Not really. I'm just mindful of what they do on stage. I design for them, not for me. I want them to be on stage as comfortable as they were when they wrote their song. I wanted to feel the way it sounds. So I know Cedric, for knowing him for years, roam around and like grab everything. So I don't design anything on the floor that he can reach. That's it. I design behind it.
Yeah.
As simple as that. And
I can imagine that.
The Queen of the Stone Age design was another example of that, because I had on stage moving poles on springs that they can kick and play with and throw in each other's face. This design idea came from the very, very beginning of the tour, when I had towers on the side with Export Bar 20 on it. As you know, they're pretty expensive, right? And pretty much from the beginning, Josh went to the tower and grabbed it and just threw it on the floor for dramatic effect, which looked cool, but then ruined my Export 20s, which are expensive. And we had a show the next day, and you know, you need to replace or fix, and it's like, okay, he's gonna be doing this. What do I do to prevent that? And I need those side lights. So I'm gonna build a light that they can throw on the floor, they can play with, and that's gonna be, so he's not gonna touch those ones. If you have those ones next to him that moves, he's gonna touch those ones. So that was the design idea. Give them toys to play with, so they don't destroy my real lighting rig. They destroy the set pieces, which are indestructible, basically.
It's also kind of an scenographic design too, right? Because you know the artists interact with
scenographic.
Yeah. It's you need to take that into consideration when you get a project. You just need to know who's going to be on stage and what they do in that space, the stage space.
Here we are seeing that show we're talking about. This is in Montreux.
Montreux, yeah. I think. Well, that's the very.
Montreux.
Your French is better than mine. Sorry, Shishi.
Sorry. I can't really fake it. Yeah, I think you can't really see them right now, but those poles are a little, they look simple, but they are a prodigy of engineering that we were working with that company, and I asked them basically the prototype was a little punching ball, you know, for little kids on a thing like this, with a pool noodle on it.
Oh,
you know, the pool noodle, and so when you punch it, it moves and it comes back. And the idea was like put LEDs that I can control RGB wide on the pool noodle, basically, so they can play with the lights, but the lights never gonna fall or break or anything. It's just wobbly. It's just organic. So yeah, it comes from a very
which is the company that
crazy idea. Upstaging.
Upstaging. And where is it? The company? Where is the company?
Chicago.
Chicago.
Suburb of Chicago. Yeah. I called them and I'm like, do this, and some of their engineer worked on it. We had the first prototype, and then it would break, and then, you know, work in progress. But they did a really great job in turning my crazy idea into a finished product.
Wow.
That lasted the entire tour.
And when you show,
you see them there,
when you show that design or expose your ideas with the band, what answers have you from there?
Just go. I mean, I really just
you have liberty. You have creative liberty. I
pretty much always have complete freedom and creativity. That's why I do design, program, and operation, because I'm a control freak. Also, I change my mind about a million times a day about something. So one day the song can be red, and the next day I'm like, I'm gonna do like green here and cut this one. You know, like I can do that. If you don't have full creative freedom, you cannot do that. You have to abide by something that's already preset, predisposed. I don't think a show is the same every day. So I can't do that.
And when you work for an artist like Shaq White, and who was an artist that have everything under control, and even his image, and I want to tell in the Blunderbuss tour, everything was blue.
Yeah.
Everything blood.
One shade of blue. Yeah.
That was your idea, the Jack idea.
Jack idea. Jack loves colors, number. Jack is very particular, as you said. He's very hands-on, everything visual.
Yeah.
You know, imagine everything.
For that, I could imagine.
For that tour, Jack just wanted it all blue. No gobos and no personal, like no motions, basically. Moving black, yes, but no motion per se. So that's what he told me. I'm like, well, that's what I want, and I give him what he wanted, and I'm still keeping my freedom, because you can have freedom, creativity in a box. I mean, the more box you put around me, the more crazy my idea is gonna be to make it, you know. So all blue, no gobo, no motion, should look like an old TV show. Awesome, that's it. That's all I needed. Never once 8 years working with him, he commented on the light in a negative way or didn't trust me. He trusts the people he works with. He doesn't hire, you know, like
a generic one.
I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah. And
if you hire me, I'm gonna give you what you want, and if it feels like what you want it to feel, then we won. We're not gonna talk about that ever again, and we both gonna do the thing we are good at. It's one thing less for him to be concerned about. You know, pretty much all the artists I work with.
We are seeing the Shaq White show. This is in
Roskilde.
This is the same show. This is the same show that you came with to Lollapalooza in VA, or it's another tour?
2014 is the second tour, so that's not the Blunderbuss. That's the
before
the Lazaretto.
Okay.
Lazaretto. Okay.
Yeah, it's Lazaretto. You can tell because the blue is a little darker Blunderbuss, I had one shade of blue, only one shade. I could only use one color, and I had to match everything to that color. On the Lazaretto tour, I could use all shades of blue, which opened a big door for me, because from 3 years working only with one particular color, now I could change all the blues. Which,
you open the chromatic
in the same shade, in the same color. I opened the same color to multiple. So for me, it was like, wow, cool. I can do so much more. I can go dark blue. Wow, crazy.
Just one more question about that. I have understand that in that tour, there's no set list songs.
No set list. No.
There just a couple of minutes. He decide what band assaults the stage. If the band of women or the band of men. Nobody knows anything. You have to improvise. You are free to improvise. You have the green light.
That's my specialty. So good on me. Jack White never do a set list. Never ever. He calls the song as he plays it. Sometimes he doesn't call it. We just have to be on cue with him. Working with him and knowing that you just look at him. He's like how do you call that? Chef d'orchestre. Orchestra leader, If he take this guitar, he's gonna play probably that song. There's a good chance he play that song. Or if he move towards the drummer and like does this sign with his head, there's a good chance that he probably gonna play that song. You just need to look at them. You don't do lighting for yourself. You don't do lighting even for the audience. I do the lighting for the band. I need their reaction to feed on, to change the show. And with Jack was very much like that. Just stare at him, what he's gonna do. Oh, this guitar, okay, well, we're probably gonna go,
you need
in
to
this
get
direction or not.
You need to get in the same mood.
You just need to be concentrated.
You are one more of the band, basically.
That's like I like to see it. Also,
you are the musician with no instrument.
Time code, you can't do that. You're tied up. And also there's so many parameters to that. Sometimes you go to a venue and everything is awesome and the food is great and the decks are great, the stage is great and the show is great. And sometimes you arrive in a muddy field, it's raining. It's like 7 a.m. and you get mud up there. And then the food is a cold sandwich and you're like, oh. And the band,
we know about that. We know.
And it is the same for the band. Like some days they're like, wow, that's great. It's having a great day. And some day they don't for so as a reason, everybody's human. And you get to know that. You get to know that because the concert, if they don't play on a click or a time code, of course, it's gonna have that feeling. They're not good or they're too good or they, or
It's a great
you
concept.
get that feeling, and I change my show according to that. It's important that the vibe is respected for them to be good on stage.
That's funny, really funny.
Do you think maybe that's your strength as an LD?
Definitely. Definitely is definitely my strength. Knowing what they want before they ask, and also because I'm a terrible technician, like everybody would look at my programming. Every programmer looking at my programming would be like, what the hell? But what I do during a live show, not everybody can do it. This is what I know how to do best. But I'm mostly terrible at everything else.
Okay. In this case of this singer, how did you choose the design and the lights? And he is telling you, he's asking you for doing a show with just one color, and you have to select the fixtures, choose which kind of fixtures and propose him a design. That's the okay. And let me know, or let me ask you something about how is the process to arrive to the design with a guy that is making an improvisation show, or just you know, something that is not guided?
It's well, the only guideline I have is using one color, no gobo and no motion. And he wanted to look kind of old-fashioned, you know, in a way. So I just asked him what shade of blue, and in this case it was a very funny anecdote and very great. He gave me one of his black shirt, and he's like, see, this is my favorite shirts. I have 50 of that same shirt that I wear. If it turned burgundy, when you turn the blue light on, that's not the right color. It needs to stay black. And you know, sometimes when you turn blue lights on a black fabric, depending on its swatch or the texture, it turns burgundy. So his thing is, I'm not gonna change my shirts because those are great for stage. And also, you know, he's the main singer. Is like, see, if my clothes turn burgundy, that means your blue is not right. So I'm like, can I have that shirt? And he's like, you give it to me. And then I made my searches on what blue, didn't turn the shirt burgundy. And then I went with this one.
Okay, so that was the process of the election of the fixtures. Just
of the blue, yeah. And then I go test the fixture and see which one has the best blue, you know.
Okay, that's excellent.
So what do you think about the smoke in the shows? The smoke machine.
Well,
do you use it? You like it?
I love it. I love haze. Of course I do.
We saw it.
Find a lighting person that doesn't like haze. Try to find one. But it's not automatic. For example, I worked with 2 bands. One band completely do not want fog or haze, so you design differently.
Yeah.
And one of the band just want a very minimum amount of haze, like almost impersonal.
A haze, a light haze.
Yeah. But well, you know, if they don't want the haze, they don't have the haze. So I design differently. I design with different fixtures that are not so needy in aerial. I design with fixture that you can see the lens. So it brings a little color instead of putting my fixture like this in the air to have a beam. I'm not gonna see the beam. So you see the lens instead. You just adapt, you know. If okay, well, you don't use haze. Okay, I'm gonna need reflection of light on surfaces. I'm gonna need to put my fixture in different position. It's just a different design. It's not impossible. It's just something you need to design for.
Of course. Sure.
And anticipate.
And what about the other? I mean, the other synth technologies like I don't know, maybe a screen, an LED screen or something. Do you work with that kind of material, or with that kind of?
Well, I gotta say,
like it?
I do not like his.
Okay. Start for the start.
Okay.
I do not like it from
sorry about the video, guys. Sorry about that. There's no problem. we are giving courses about video and VJs and, you know, that kind of stuff. And we work with a lot of video guys, but we have seen that that most of your shows or the designs of your shows doesn't have any video screens. So it's just in case, it's because you don't have a partner to work with, cool, or why?
Because I find it sterile. It is except those new super awesome tiny peach LED, it doesn't really create an ambience. It creates a different surface, which is not immersive to me. That's why I would go for video projection, That I've done because it's a light source.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, sure.
Than more than a video screen. I do not design that. Though my new design for another band I'm doing gonna have a lot of video screens for the first time, but it also because it's a stadium show, and when you do stadium shows,
you have to work with.
It's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
There is too much people.
Unnecessary evil. We have the title of this interview.
Yeah, the necessary evil. Gigi, another question. When you have to make light for some artists that want to TV shows, you use some different patterns, or just you change your way of make a design?
In a very minimum sense, I attenuated the color because I used to. I do work with very saturated color all the time for human eyes, you know, like for perception.
And now you have to lighting for the cameras. Yeah,
camera is a different beast. So you just you tame a little bit your red, make it a little more amber. If you make it amber, it's still gonna look red on the camera. You tame your blue, you tame your pink. Very minimum fashion, and you control a little more your key lights. It's just minimum changes. And sometimes when it's a show that's filmed, if I'm into the show, I just completely forget about cameras and just go for. But when I do something specifically, just one song shoot for TV,
you change.
I also consult gaffers and cameramen, and TV is different.
Today I was watching some shows of Jack White in the French television, and
I didn't even saw that.
I could imagine. And it's so light in the intensity of the light, so softly to
it's
say, so soft.
Well, some TVs, some cameras require that.
Yeah. Okay.
And also some directors. Require that. And also whatever they filmed, they also can't touch in post-production. They change, they adjust. It's like mixing in a studio. It's not what's gonna be on the record. They're gonna just change the image after it's done. Balance and stuff.
And does it bother you when a director tell you to change the design or maybe attenuate or something? Does it bother you, or it's cool?
It doesn't have to bother me, like if today we're filming a TV show, we're filming a TV show. I just need to put my ego in my pocket because this is not about me. It's not about me. Like,
and go with the flow.
It is not about me, and we always find an agreement. It's not because someone tell me that I'm gonna be let's talk about it. Why? If it's valid, then we work together to do one thing today, and it's a TV show, and then I'm let's do it better. Ego in the pocket.
Another technical question. We see that video where you made the sticks that you can push ball. When you work with that kind of fixtures, do you use the technique that is called like pixel LED or pixel mapping to work with, or you use the fixtures with just one pattern, and that's the fixture is all full in RGB, all the bar?
Well, I could do on this one. I could do both. Really depended. I went for just solid. Yes. Because I didn't like the little pixel mapping effect on a pool like this. It's kind of lost because I had a lot of X bar 20 on the side that were pixelated already, and that would completely erase the pixel mapping on those little tubes. the effect would be lost because the lights that were on the side were too powerful compared to those.
Yeah.
And also I didn't want it to be Las Vegas, Queen of the Stone Age, black badass desert. It's not Las Vegas, you know.
Yeah.
It's not because you can pixel map that you have to do it, you know. Like it's not because it's there that you have to use it. It's kind of tacky sometimes.
I have another question that is not from me, but it's from Leandro. And Leandro always asks about anecdotes, you know, with bands and artists and that things. Which are the artists that more, for example, are the boss, you know, or the people that you can go and design with him. There's some artists that you have a coffee and okay, I will do this. And what do you think? Which one or which are the artists that you prefer design? Not the artists. Which are the artists that you prefer design with them? That's the question.
It's hard to say. I love everybody that I work for. I cannot tell you one. I have a chance, I would say, is that everybody that call me, that trusts me to get what's in their head into a lighting design. And that's what I do. And usually when I send it to the artist, the client, when I send the designer the renders, they're like, oh, that's exactly what I thought, what I had in my mind. I like people that have that have an implication. You know, I like to work with artists that have strong ideas, like just all blue or whatever, or no haze, or I like people that have a voice, because that means they care. Yeah. And I'm here.
They are
involved. I'm here for them to not even think about lighting or designing.
Oh, okay.
You know?
And where you find that you have to work with artists like Ryan Adams that have a disease, and he don't to be in so much intention on flights, and not flash and not mobiles, and I thought you have to spread your imagination so much and put your can you tell us about that?
Well, I won't say I want everybody to be sick, but it's a good challenge for me. You know, I've never worked with an artist before that had Meniere disease. So in a way, I learned something. I documented myself about what the disease do, and I was like, oh my God, that's not possible to do a live show. You know, like it's not possible to do a live show. Yeah. But then, if you said that, then you close the door to so many things. Everything is fucking possible, you know. And I want my artist to be very comfortable on stage. You know, he needs to be able to be at the best. So I need to understand what it is that make him sick and not do it. It is part of my job. I'm not only a lighting designer. I am. But I want them to be. I want them to feel the lighting for their music. It's important. It needs to be flawless, and that's what I'm here for. I'm listening to whatever concern or request they have, and they just need to tell me once. You tell me once what your problems are, and I'm gonna work around it to fix it. And you won't have to tell me twice. You know. Yeah. It's part of it's part of lighting design. You know. So you need to be.
With Ryan
to be listening.
With Ryan Amp, you have to work at maybe at 10% with no strobes, and what else?
Everything behind him. You know, pretty much everything is behind him. Most of the front lights, are right, as you can see on the band is front lights, but it's like minimum. and I have a follow on the truss. If you see, there is a one mover that it's in white, and I follow him everywhere he goes. So you still see him, but he's not blinded because it's on top of his head. And
this is Tea in the Park. It's the festival Tea in the Park.
Glastonbury.
Glastonbury. Okay.
How many minus degrees was there? Because he was exhaling like vapor.
No, but Glastonbury is in summer. It's a summer festival.
Glastonbury is in summer.
Yeah.
July.
It's in the UK. It's always cold in the UK.
Okay.
Always.
It's always cold and raining up there.
May I ask you something that I really don't know? What is the cat in the top of the speakers?
It's a little
scenery?
decor, yeah. On this one, it's kind of particular. I arrived during the tour for Ryan Adams. He had thanked his previous LD and the one before that and the one before that, because he has the Meniere disease, and as I said, not everybody listens, and people think it's like, oh, whatever, I do whatever I want. And it's like, this is not your job. Okay, you're gonna do lighting, and it's gonna be sick, and you're gonna get fired. Just you know.
Yeah, of course.
So the stage design was already done. Ryan brought stuff from his studio. You know, we had a stuffed tiger and like big fake cabinet with the real guitar cabinet inside, and
the real cabinet.
I jumped on that tour.
Inside of these cabinets.
Yes.
Oh, like the Neil Young and Crazy Horse.
Something like that. Yeah.
Like the Fenders. Amps. Yeah.
Wow.
Great.
Yeah, and this one I just arrived during the tour because position was vacant at this time.
Let me ask you something more.
The last one, and then we have to catch this beautiful interview with Gigi.
Well, we are trying to finish the interview in more or less 10 minutes, but we can't leave this question without an answer. What do you think your job is gonna be doing in this moment, in this time? What kind of job are you doing right now? And what do you think you will be doing your job in the future? Do you think the future is streaming?
Well, there's multiple answers for that. Right now, if you ask me what I'm doing, I am doing gardening, tending to my chicken, cooking. That's the thing I'm doing right now, because every tours and every shows have been canceled. So now I am, being a home person that I have never been before, which is cool.
All pissed off. Yeah.
I think there's gonna be more and more streaming. Of course, that's happening. We already start to see drive-through concerts. This is not a solution. This is just for a minute, at least. Even if it's kind of a weird idea, it's also very resourceful. I like when people see the solution before seeing the problem, even though it's not the ultimate solution. It's one of them, and it's creative, and it's weird, and why not? In a way. I think people still need to feel the real music, real festival. Streaming is one thing, but you would never have the intensity of the live show. I think in the immediate weeks and months, we are all gonna stay home because there is a global pandemic, and it's the first time in the modern history that happens since the Spanish flu, which it's pretty serious. And I think thinking about just my little work would be a little self-centered, where millions of people are dying from a disease, like starting crying about, oh, I don't have a job, where people are dying every day, and it's a little, I don't know. I just I'm healthy, I'm not sick, and I'm lucky. I'm not gonna start crying a river You just have to be patient. And maybe the only solution, and I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but I would think if we get a vaccine, people are gonna be able to gather again and do this again.
That's what we are all expecting. And the last one, really the last one, and thank you again, Gigi, for this interview. It's a pleasure for us.
Thank you for having me.
For your patience.
The question is if you have some advice, or maybe advice, we can say, for the next generations, lighting designers, or the next generation of lighting designers wannabes, or whatever. I mean, you have like the ultimate advice to them.
Well, the ultimate advice is just it's weird, just be you, just do it. Okay. Don't forget that you work in a team. That's very, very important. It's easy to say, I'm the lighting designer. You work on a team. Even though you're the chief of lighting, there is audio, there is backline, there is band, there is management. Like, just don't be a dick. And
that's a good advice. Really good advice.
Really. Because when you tour, attitude is everything. I gotta say, attitude is everything. You know, like, people gonna remember you if you're a dick, and they're gonna remember you if you're cool. You know, why? You know, we're not saving life. We're putting on rock shows. So I would say, ultimate, just think as a team and be cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, great.
Thank you so much for this time.
No problem.
We expect that we can have another interview in the future if you want to share with us another kind of shows when this start again, because we are expecting the new the nueva normalidad,
the new normality.
Okay.
The new normality,
And thank you so much for the message for young people, or for people that are start learning like designer or like technician, you know.
They need to know it's a very needy work. They just need to know, like, it's not all glamour and money and awesomeness. You know, it's a job where you need to be dedicated to your craft 24/7. You know, even team is great. Sometimes you don't want to see other people. You don't want to be on tour. You want to be home. You know, like all of that is it's a tough job, very needy in time and dedication. It's not something that you do lightly when you go in that field. So that is something to consider before you even start.
Yeah. Sure.
It's hard.
Okay.
Life is tough, then you die.
That's another good advice.
It's a great advice.
So thank you again, Gigi, so much. Bueno,
thank you. I hope I can come visit soon.
Yeah, the same to you.
We expect that, and we can taste red wines, Argentinian.
Yes,
Malbec and all that.
We hope see you again in another interview.
You get my number now.
Oh, yeah. You're compromised now. And my regards for all the artists who work with you. They are the artists that we are very fans. Thank you, again.
Thank you.
No problem.
He's in the moment of groupie moment.
That's my groupie moment.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bueno, gracias a todos los que vieron esta entrevista, y bueno, nos vemos la próxima, amigos y amigas. Adiós.
Adiós.
Bien ahí.